Welcome back, everybody. We're going to talk about rotoscoping today. In this video, we're going to be doing rotoscoping with still images. Hopefully you've had a chance to look at some of the sample files. And what I'm going to do is I've taken a few still images of showing myself in motion. And they're a sequence of images. And so what we're going to do is we're going to import that sequence of images, lay it down in the timeline, and then essentially trace over to get some motion. This is a tried and true animation technique. It is by no means meant to replace animation, but we use it all the time. All right, so let's just get started. And this is the first rotoscope technique you're going to use. We're going to do it with still images because you can just simply do that using your phone or a camera. Just take a series of images and then import those images. And then later I'll show you how to do rotoscoping in another video, rotoscoping with a video file. All right, so create a new file. Full HD, 1920 by 1080, 24 frames per second, create. Okay, I'm going to zoom out just a touch so we can see our stage. And I'm going to just import a series of images that I took. These are very old images, and they're by no means perfect for this, but it's perfect for demonstration purposes. Okay, so File, Import, Import to Stage. Okay, and on my desktop, I have a folder with my images in them, so I'm going to navigate to that folder. Okay, and on my desktop, I have a folder called Roto. And in that file, I have a me mouths folder because I was animating myself talking. And as you can see, I am 00000026, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, all in order. Okay, that's important because if you just select the first one, there's me, okay, and hit open, Adobe Animate is going to ask you, it says, this file appears to be part of a sequence of images. Do you want to import all of the images in the sequence? The answer is yes, I do. I hit yes, and there they are. So let me zoom in a little bit, and you can see, if I scrub my timeline, A, E, I, O, where it is, O, and U, okay? That was what I was trying to do anyway. Is it perfect? Absolutely not, but it works. Okay, so essentially now that I've got my images in place, okay, lock the layer because I don't really want to mess it. This is just reference material. And then choose the tool I want to draw with, add a layer, and I can just start keyframing out what I want. In this case, I'm going to lower the size of my brush. 14, maybe it's still a little bit big, maybe 10? Yeah, maybe 10. Maybe even that's a little bit big. Maybe let's just maybe do 8. Okay, maybe zoom in a little bit more because I really only just want my head. Okay, and I'm going to choose a color I want to work with. In this case, I'm going to choose a fairly bright color because I want to be able to see it against the background. And I can always change that color to black later if I want to. So I'm going to choose a nice, maybe bright green. And I'm just going to literally trace over this image. If we look at the timeline here, okay, and I'm just going to keep this super simple just so that we can get this done fast. Okay, eyeball, eyeball, nose, okay, mouth. I'm going to give myself a curly mustache. Aha, curly mustache. Okay, and just trace the shape of my head. Oof, I should probably plug in my brush to do this. It's a little easier with my tablet. But anyway, I can do this. Okay, and so I don't even have to have the shape of the head if I don't want to, but I'm going to just do it real quick. It's going to look kind of weird, but because I'm not using my tablet. And I should have thought of that while I was doing this. Okay, it looks a bit weird, but that's all right. Okay, so there's the head. Okay, and then I'll maybe get the bucket. To fill it in. Okay, and go back to the brush tool, and then the next frame. Okay, there's that one there, so I just need a new one. So function F7, repeat the process. Okay, eyes, eyebrows, nose, curly mustache, mouth. And you can get much more detailed than I'm getting here. I'm just going really, really fast because I just want to show you that this is very doable. And it's very useful. But the idea isn't necessarily to copy in as much detail as possible. It's really just to kind of like get the idea. Okay, next one, function F7. Okay, trace again. Eyes, eyebrows, nose, curly mustache, and shape of the head. Because I just want to keep this relatively simple. Okay, because this is just the motion that I want, and that's what you'll decide when you're doing your rotoscoping, is what motion are you really looking for. And by no means is this going to be perfect, but you have the general idea. It's just really just getting the look that you're after. Just the general motion. And as you can see, I'm not trying to be photorealistic about it. I'm just trying to get the general motion that I'm looking for. Okay, maybe I'll just do the head first while I'm here. And like I said, it's much easier with a tablet, so you can do the drawing. Okay, curl the mustache. Oh, curl the mustache. Okay. And then you can turn off the images. And I'm just moving backwards and forwards using my greater than and less than keys on my keyboard. So as you can see, using my images, I've got a fairly interesting project. Okay, so I don't need the layer 1 anymore, so I'm just going to trash that layer. And then, if I wanted to add more, let me say I wanted to zoom out just a tiny bit on this. If I wanted to add a little bit more, like for instance, I wanted to give myself some hair, because it's all gone, right? So maybe I'll just put some spiky hair on my head here. Okay, notice I'm doing this on another layer. So the head, then F7 again. So my head doesn't really do anything, all right? So the hair can be roughly in the same place. So I'll turn on my onion skinning. Okay, maybe zip this down a little bit so I'm not looking at all the hair. Right? So the head moves a little bit, but I might keep the hair in roughly the same place. See? So it moves just a tiny little bit. Turn that off. Right? Cool. and then the head whips back. Whoa, so I gotta turn the onion skinning back on. Oops. And I don't need all those frames, so I'll move these back 4. There we go. So the hair is going to whip back. So it's kind of going to stand backwards a little bit like this. Right? Turn that off. Right? And again, turn my onion skinning back on. The hair goes a little bit further, right? So the hair is kind of going to keep stretching, keep flattening out. And then last but not least, that last movement where the head kind of whips back one more time. So the hair will just kind of follow through, right? So the hair kind of just stands up a little bit. Okay, that's one example of using rotoscoping. Very cool, very simple, very straightforward. And do this with your own images or do this with my images. Either is fine. And you can do as many images as you want and have as much fun with it as you want. Because you could go back and you could start filling the face with colors, for example. Like this face, whoops, I didn't want to do that. Let me deselect. This face, maybe I wanted to fill the color with like, maybe this kind of orangey, right? Oh, that's no, not good. Okay. And of course, you could illustrate this to your heart's delight. Okay, save that as roto1.fla with your name on it, roto1 your name.fla, and upload that. That's rotoscope project number 1. Okay, next video is going to be about the second part of the project, which is to do this more or less the same thing, but using video. All right, and I've also supplied a video file for you to use. So look for it. It's called horse-roto.mov. All right, see you in the next video.